Yes, today we are going to see a topic which will be relevant to grade 9 students, grade 10 and grade 11. So we are going to see factors of production. Factors of production are the resources needed to produce goods and services in order to satisfy the needs of society. There are millions of factors of production, but economists have divided them into 5 main groups. They are land, labor, capital, and enterprise. Let us see first land as a factor of production. Land refers to all natural resources in the production of goods and services. In other words, land refers to the gift of nature. Examples of land are rain, mountain, forest, air, and other natural resources. The reward for land is called rent. Now let us see labor as a factor of production. Labor includes all human efforts in the production of goods and services. Human efforts can be either physical or mental. For example, a doctor does a mental effort while a laborer does a physical effort. Further, labor can be skilled or unskilled. A skilled laborer is someone who has been given training to perform his job. For example, a doctor is a skilled worker because we cannot become a doctor overnight. A cleaner is an unskilled worker because no such training is required to perform such job. The reward for labor is called wages. Capital as a factor of production. Capital includes all man-made resources in the production of goods and services. Examples of capital goods are machines, equipment, building, and so on. Capital goods are used to produce consumer goods. Capital can also be in terms of money invested to start a business. Capital can also be in terms of working capital, that is, the amount of money invested in the day-to-day running of a business. The reward for capital is called interest. The last one, enterprise. Enterprise refers to the organization of all the factors of production. Land, labor, and capital left to themselves cannot produce anything. They must be organized. The person who is responsible for such an organization is called an entrepreneur. The entrepreneur will bear all risks and he will take all profit. The reward for enterprise is called profit. So just to sum up, the reward for land refers to all natural resources in the production of goods and services. The reward for land is called rent. Labor includes all human efforts in the production of goods and services. The reward for labor is called wages. Capital includes all man-made resources in the production of goods and services. The reward for capital is called interest. Enterprise refers to the organization of all the factors of production. The reward for enterprise is called profit. So here we are so far concerning factors of production, land, labor, capital, and enterprise. This topic will be very useful for the students of grade 9 who are going to take the national examination. Thank you very much for your attention. Now we are going to see the market economy. The market economy is also known as free enterprise economy, laissez-faire economy, capitalist economy. In this economic system, the factors of production, land, labor, and capital are owned and controlled by private individuals and firms. In this system, there is less government intervention in the economy. In any economic system, there are 3 questions that must be answered. They are what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. What to produce means what types of goods the producer will produce in a market economy. In this economic system, producers are motivated by profit. They will produce those goods and services which have high demand and high prices in order to maximize profit. For example, if the price of good X falls and the price of good Y rises, producers producing good X will shift resources from good X to the production of good Y because it is more profitable to produce good Y. In this economic system, there is consumer sovereignty. That is, whatever goods or services demanded by consumers will be produced. Any resource allocation will be done by price changes and market demand. How to produce is concerned with the method of production. There are two methods of production available, which are labor-intensive and capital-intensive. Labor-intensive means using more workers and less machines. Capital-intensive means using more machines and less workers. The method chosen will depend on the prices or factors of production used. Since the aim of producers is to minimize cost of production in order to maximize profit, they will choose the method of production which is more cheaper in order to maximize profit. If labor is cheaper than machine, then labor-intensive method will be used. But if machines are cheaper, then a capital-intensive method will be adopted. For whom to produce is concerned with the distribution of goods. Once the goods has been produced, it must be distributed to consumers. In a market economy, price is determined by the market forces of demand and supply, or what we call the price mechanism, the price system. The price is determined by market forces. So if there is a surplus, price will fall and many consumers can buy, and if there is a shortage, price will rise and some consumers will be excluded from the market. So here we are so far concerning the market economic system. So what students you have to remember, these three questions: what to produce means what types of goods the producer will produce. In a market economy, producers are motivated by profit. They will allocate resources to the production of those goods and services which are demanded by consumers and which have high prices. No producers will allocate resources in the production of goods and services which are not demanded by consumers. How to produce is concerned with the method of production. We have two methods of production: labor intensive and capital intensive. Labor intensive means using more workers, less machines. Capital intensive means using more machines and less workers. So which method of production will be chosen will depend on the prices or factors used. If labor is cheaper, then labor intensive method will be used. For whom to produce is concerned with the distribution of goods. In a market economy, the price system, or what we call the price mechanism, distributes the limited amount of goods and services to consumers. If there is a surplus, price will fall, many consumers can buy, and if there is a shortage, price will rise automatically and some consumers will be excluded from the market. So here we are so far concerning the market economic system. Students who are going for national examination, so you have to be very careful concerning this topic, market economy. So you may be given question on market economy to explain what we understand by market economic system and how resources are allocated in such an economy. So here we are so far concerning the market economic system. Thank you very much. Now we are going to see the different stages of production. We have primary stage of production, secondary stage of production, and tertiary stages of production. Now let us see first the primary stage of production. The primary stage of production is concerned with extraction of raw materials from land and sea. Example of primary stages of production are forests, agriculture, mining, and so on. The primary stage of production is very important as it produces raw materials which will be used at the secondary stage of production. A cut in the supply of raw materials at the primary stage of production will affect production in the secondary stage of production. The secondary stage of production is concerned with the manufacturing industries. Example of secondary stages of production are Aquarel Textile Company is in the secondary stage of production. Samsung Mobile Company is in the secondary stage of production. So all manufacturing industries are found in the secondary stage of production. This stage of production is very important because it produces finished goods which will be used, which will be put for sale at the tertiary stage of production. A cut in the supply of finished goods in the secondary sector will affect sales at the tertiary stages of production. The tertiary stage of production is concerned with the provision of services, and it is a stage we deal directly with customers. Example of tertiary stages of production are banks, insurance companies, filling station, and other businesses which deal directly with customers or which provide a service to society. The tertiary stage of production is very important as it deals with finished goods which will be put for sale to customers. A cut in the supply of finished goods will affect standard of living as consumers will not obtain the goods required. So we have seen the primary stage of production, which is concerned with the extraction of raw materials from land and sea. We have seen the secondary stage of production, which is concerned with the manufacturing industries, and the tertiary stage of production is concerned with the provision of services or which deal directly with consumers. So this topic also will be very important for students of grade 9 who are going to sit for the national examination. Thank you very much for your attention.